Hello and welcome to Talk a Good Game, where West Ham are travelling up north to Elland Road to take on Leeds. Unfortunately, Gio won't be there because, Gonzo, you'll be shocked. The concert's still going. It's still going. They're on hour 42. It's like that. Do you remember that? What was that film that came out? The one where the guy had to chop his arm off because he was stuck on a rock or something? The one, the one I'm talking about, the one where he was stuck on a rock. The guy who did the London Olympics.
128 hours, Charlie.
That's the one I'm talking
Something like
about.
that, yeah.
It's like that, but with Backstreet Boys songs.
It's yeah. You just feel like chopping your head off. Your ears. The ears are probably the first to go, aren't they? Let's be fair. Just to stop your head. Just to stop the music inflicts any more pain on your head. But he is at the Backstreet Boys Own Westlife extravaganza. So he's having a great time. He's posted some lovely pictures. He managed to get he got a selfie taken with the lads. No, he's very happy.
He was very happy. That was mid song as well. He got up on stage.
It was. I'm flying without. He was having a lovely time.
Definitely not a Backstreet Boys song. But thankfully you are here. So can I get your thoughts on Leeds United, please?
Well, they're northern. I'll tell you that.
I'll tell you what. They are definitely. They're defo that. They are defo that.
No, look. If we were serious for a second, they don't know any boy bands that came out of Leeds. However, there are plenty of footballers that came out of Leeds. That's for sure. Unfortunately, most of them seem to be injured for this upcoming game, which is absolutely fantastic. Look, they're suffering a second season syndrome, which I've got to be honest, I didn't think would happen. I thought Elland Road and the fans being back in it, more importantly, was going to be the uplift to take them on to bigger and better things. I thought Leeds were capable of doing what we did last season, actually. They were my surprise package. Well, they've certainly been that, but not in a way that I thought, because they've yet to register a win this season. They went out in the Cup, of course, to Fulham. Was it on penalties? Might have been on penalties, quite possibly. And they look nowhere near the team they were before that. But
I think they beat Fulham on penalties.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I just had to double check there because my brain kicked. But something did happen up here for once, and I remember they did.
There you go. Well,
but the fact they went to a draw with a championship team to have to go through on pen says a lot.
That was what I was trying to say. Clearly, not only do I get the breaking news wrong, I get the news wrong days later. So you heard it here first. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to Hammer's Chat for all the breaking incorrect news. The thing is with and I looked at this thing I do understand is that Bielsa doesn't stay very long at clubs. So maybe he has a shelf life. And I'm not saying he's become a crap manager or anything like that, because I think he's been one of the better managers in the last 2 or 3 seasons, certainly. I was surprised that he stayed on last season. But I guess it's pretty hard to go again. They've got some fantastic players, though, Charlie. They really do.
They do, yeah. I mean, on Bielsa specifically, how do you think? What do you think about him as a manager? Because whenever Leeds comes up, there tends to be one of two opinions on Bielsa. It's either people are like, "Yeah, I really like Bielsa," or people go, "I wish people would stop going on about Bielsa." Do you live in one of those two camps? What's your sort of opinion on the mad one, El Loco himself?
Well, we always seem to beat him, so I don't mind people going on about Bielsa. But from afar, I can. It's an old boxing adage, which is styles make fights. And I'm not even sure how much I believe that. I'm just saying that's something that's said. But maybe there's something to be said for football matches as well. And quite possibly our style is not great for Leeds, really. You sort of imagine Leeds. I know they did get whooped by Liverpool, and it's not a great example. But you imagine Leeds going and playing somebody like Liverpool, Man City, and actually giving them a really good game, and it being like a 4-3 humdinger or something like that. So they like an open game. If you're going to be a little bit rough, a little bit tough, and a little bit organised, which obviously West Ham are all those things, then I think they find it quite hard going. That being said, I don't think it's any reflection on Bielsa. I think he's an iconic manager. I think he's a really, really talented manager. And I think actually the way he's managed to improve players, particularly those players that came down from the lower leagues, get every inch of talent out of them. And I think he's been a really, really wonderful, bit of Kevin Keegan about him in that sense, actually. People like Pep Guardiola praise him and say that they base their own method of play around what he did, and his high press and retention of the ball and whatnot. It's great. He deserves a lot of credit. He really does. He's very, very good. Whether people talk about him or don't talk about him, couldn't care less, quite frankly.
Fair, but people are talking about is the One Football app, Gonzo. I keep hearing people bringing it up. You're bringing it up. Gio's bringing it up. Loads of people are bringing it up. It's this app right on your phone. It combines social media with football in the sense that you don't have to follow all of this other guff. Gonzo, do you want to hear about Harry Kane? Because I'm okay never hearing about Harry Kane again.
Who is Harry Kane?
Exactly. I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about because I only select West Ham on the One Football app.
Exactly. So that's all you need to get on your phone. You hit follow, and then all of the stuff that comes up is just what you want to see. Just West Ham. When the build-up happens, and Gio and Gonzo in this case will be like, I know the lineups now. It's because he's seen it on the One Football app. It's a beautiful app, Gonzo. If you were to rate One Football app out of 10, what would you give it?
1. Because it's the One Football app.
Because it's the One Football
app. 1
app.
being highest and 10 being pants.
Exactly. You don't need any other app. One Football, thank you very much for sponsoring us once again. We much appreciate it. Yeah, I sort of agree with you. I really like Bielsa for a couple of reasons. I'm a bit of a tactics sort of stats nerd. And so in that sense, I look at Bielsa like some sort of Jesus figure. But at the same time, I just love how much of a loose cannon he is. He's completely mad. His nickname was El Loco. And when we were linked to getting him, when we ended up getting him Bilic before, I was very tempted to be like, let's get this absolute lunatic in. Let's get him in because he just is mad. And so when we say we're shocked by the downfall of Leeds, and I say the downfall, Leeds' bad season, I am shocked. But at the same time, I'm not surprised because every season before I look at a Bielsa team and I go, they could finish 6th or they could get relegated with no wins. And to be honest with you, I don't know if he'd even be here, I don't know what's going to happen with him. He just is, to use a phrase my granddad would love, he's balmy. He's completely balmy. Just pure balm.
He is a loon. What I like about him is the, see, I don't like the phrase, the taking of the knee. Why don't people just say it's kneeling? Why are they not kneeling? It's just kneeling, right? Why is it? Sure. No one wants their knee taken. Okay, but if there's anybody that is about to have his knee taken, it's Bielsa. There is a man with sheer dedication to the cause. There's a man with dodgy knees. Yet you watch him when he kneels, he's shaking. You can see him thinking, this can't be any more than 15 seconds. It really can't be because he's on the point of collapse. Yet he still does it. He get away with it. Get him a little stool or whatever. I don't know. Get him a kick racism out of football t-shirt or something. But he's having none of it. He's kneeling, he's shaking. I'll tell you what, that is massively dedicated. I'm just always scared that he's going to fall over.
Have you ever heard? I think this was him. I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But have you ever heard the story about him and Pochettino and the knees and the legs?
No.
Right. I'm going to say this out loud because I think it's true. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Right. But I'm fairly certain when Bielsa, because obviously Bielsa's been around a long time. He's been managing Europe relatively recently, say the last decade. But he was around in South America long before that. And he was the person who originally signed Pochettino as like a 14, 15-year-old, right? But the way he signed him, and again, I'm saying this out loud, I realize I could be completely wrong here. So please do correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. He went to Pochettino's house. This was when Pochettino was about 14, in the middle of the night. Right, they looked at him during the training and all that other stuff, like during the trials or whatever, and like they ended up deciding he was like Bielsa was like, we are going to sign this kid because this kid has got all he does. So he goes to his house where he's living with his parents because obviously he's a young boy at that time, a teenager, in the middle of the night, and goes and speaks to him and goes, right, we need to sign him, but I need to check his legs. So they went upstairs while Pochettino was asleep.
Oh.
And just pulled the covers back and looked at his legs. He went, that's it, we're signing him. And signed Pochettino. And obviously Pochettino went on to have the career he did. And now he's a manager.
Imagine if he was having an exciting dream or something.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of insane.
He's got 3 legs.
And I'm saying it out loud, knowing I could be wrong. But at the same time, I won't edit it out. But at the same time, I'm pretty certain that is true. I mean, this is the level of insanity the man has.
I like it. I want it to be true. We pretend, even if it's not true, we'll pretend that it is. Anyway, that's enough about Pochettino's midnight excitement. And Bielsa appearing at him from under the covers with his dodgy knees. Maybe he was looking at him thinking, you know what, one day my knees are going to wear out and I'm going to have knees like that. let's talk about just quickly, very very quickly. Their players. Bamford's
Yes.
injured, as I understand it, which is no bad thing, quite possibly. Calvin Phillips has actually had to cover at centre back in the Fulham game because they've got some other injuries. Lots of them, in fact, lots and lots of injuries. More importantly, so in their trip to London, Calvin Phillips played the whole game. So they've got injuries and not been able to rest, as well as, so I think Dan James possibly played in that Fulham game as well. Might be wrong. But they got some really, really good players. Charlie, I particularly like Rafinha. You got one that stands out for you?
I mean, Calvin Phillips is the obvious one. I think he's pretty flipping good. Other obvious people, Rodrigo's one of those people who I think has all of the talent, but it's just not working out for him there, and they need to figure out what to do, because there's such a good player in there, and they're struggling to figure out where he suits inside of Bielsa's system, but it makes sense. And then I like Klitsch. I like Junior Firpo, but on Dan James specifically, I feel like it needs saying. It reminds me of Mane to Liverpool, in that, did they overpay for him? Probably. They probably did. Are we looking at it and thinking this isn't a guy who's got the finished article? Because when Mane went from Southampton to Leeds, it was a case again where you're like, probably not. But the manager loves him. The manager was like, I want this player. They went out and paid what was necessary, and they'll probably reap the rewards. He's wanted James for a long, long time. And so I can't overlook, when I'm looking at that Leeds side, James is probably one of the people who scares me most, because I'm like, Bielsa's wanted him for a reason, and also he's lightning quick, and it's not like we're going to have Ryan Fredericks right back to help out in that sense with pace, even though Vladimir Soufal, as long as he's in front of him, I suspect will take it on. But yeah, just to give a quick update on the injuries, because I had a look, because there's a ton of them. Lorente is out, Koch is out, Bamford is out, Koch is out, Bamford is out, Stewart
like
is still... Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah. Well, allegedly. Struich is still suspended. Jack Harrison is still a doubt. Rafinha is also doubtful, along with Luke Ayling. And then just very quickly, Gio did message me, and I feel like I should just read out his exact message word for word. Points of note of Leeds preview off top of head. Only one fit centre-back in Cooper. Ayling started at centre-back against Newcastle, but got injured, as you say, Gonzo. So Phillips will have to play there, as he did in the League Cup. Or the other option is Cresswell will play there, who's only 18. Not R1, Leeds one. I did get very confused when Cresswell was trending the other day, but it was the Leeds one who was trending. And then Gio felt like Rodrigo was good last week, and Harrison's out with COVID. So there you go. That's what Gio says. If you want Gio's opinion, there it is. You have to find him. He's living it large.
He's dancing. He's dancing. All I'm thinking about is when we do the build-up and we got the bet, I've got to think of a phrase. And we've got players like Klick and Koch to work with. So this is going to be fun. It's
a beautiful time. It's a beautiful time. Speaking of a beautiful time, West Ham, obviously, we're doing very well right now. The fixtures are coming thick and fast. We got our redemption against Manchester United, and obviously we have Rapid Vienna in the cup in the midweek. And so obviously there's a difference between what Moyes might do and what you might want. So let's concentrate on what you want, Gonzo. Did anyone from the Man United game earn a start against Leeds for you? Because I know when we spoke previously, this was your priority.
Well, I'll tell you what I want. What I really, really want. I really, really want to see. I want to see the centre backs back. Well, there was nothing wrong with those centre backs. We've got loads of centre backs. We could play four, say three at the back, four centre backs, and full backs either side. No one's getting through them, but we just might not attack. I'd like to see Zuma. I'd like to see Ogbonna, Cresswell. I'd like to see all those players that are rested back. That's the important thing. Obviously, the Souček and Rice, Antonio. I think all that picks itself, right?
Yeah.
What doesn't pick itself is we've got a decision to make on the goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
What also doesn't pick itself is we've got Antonio. Then let's say we've got three behind. I think Ben Rama, because he's been rested, will. And I think Fornals will be in. Here's the question. Who takes the other spot? Because I think ordinarily Bowen takes it. But I tell you what, he did not stop running in the last two games. He's not stopped, Charlie. If anyone needs a rest and a soak in a Radox bath, it's him. So I'm not sure that Moyes is going to start him. On form, I'd play him, but it's that position, that other extra attacking midfield position, and the goalkeeper, which I think are really going to be the interesting decision points for him.
Yeah, I mean, you're hitting on all the important things here. I mean, that's the thing I was going to say about Bowen is I was shocked he didn't come off against Manchester United. I suspected he was going to get subbed because he was playing out of his skin. He's played out of his skin a few games in a row, and he's been absolutely in lightning form. So I'm surprised to an extent that he didn't get rested in that second half. He didn't come off and say the 70th minute or something, just to have some time off. But he didn't. He stayed on and continued running his socks off till the end, till the death. So, and when it comes to Bowen, I mean, the only question for me is who would you replace him with if he wasn't to start? I mean, I think he will, but at the same time, we do have Europe in midweek. So if you do take him out, who starts? I mean, Vlasic could come in. Moyes seems to see him as a wide player. He keeps playing him out wide as opposed to central. So potentially Vlasic, Yarmolenko's an option. I don't know. Who would you, if you were to replace Bowen, who would you replace him with?
Well, if I was just looking at it from fitness, I mean, I'd want to replace him with Bowen. Bowen is the outstanding candidate. I've not seen enough of Vlasic to. I don't know what we've got there, Charlie. I'm convinced it will work out because he's got that work rate, he's got that work ethic. You get all your players working as hard as we seem to, you're going to win games because there's going to be somewhere there that can pick up the points. So I do think it's a bit of an interesting one, actually. I would pick Bowen if he was fit, basically. If he was fresh. He's not fresh. So I think we're going to get Vlasic. I just think that's going to be the composition of the team. I think that is our composition of our team. The one I don't know is the goalkeeper.
Yeah, so I would go with Vlasic as well. I've thought Vlasic was fine so far. I don't think I've been super disappointed by him. I know some people have been, but I'm like, yeah, he's good. But I also think he's playing a role that he's not necessarily used to, and one that's going to naturally hamper his attacking output in the same way Fornals' attacking output gets hampered because he is being asked to drop back and defend a lot, and that's because we need to.
Fornals didn't start great, Charlie, either. Fornals didn't have a great scintillating start to his West Ham career. It's not everyone is Thomas Souček or Jesse Lingard and comes in and scores goals on their first game or whatever the case may be. Some people take a little while. Fornals was certainly one of them. So, this guy might be much the same. I'd suggest Benrahma was the same as well. But now Benrahma looks settled, looks part of the team. And certainly Benrahma is probably the first choice of those attacking guys, wide guys that you want to get goals, isn't he? So, it's no problem that Vlasic might take a little while to settle. It just... Is he oven ready now, so to speak? No, but I don't think we've got a choice. So I think,
and I also think the more you play him, the better he'll get, and the more used to the system he'll get. So then, in one word, if you had to pick one of the goalkeepers to play, who would you pick?
Randolph, I think.
Oh, big! That's a bold decision, sir. That's a bold for someone who said he wants to prioritise Leeds. That's a very, very bold decision.
You've got to give them all a go. That's what I think. And I'd bring Martin on in the second half. And then bring Anang back from loan, and then Trott back from loan, because you're allowed. Yeah, I'd just get them all on, mate. Really, no, I'd actually go with Areola again. I liked what he's got the reflexes of a tiger. That one, and I like to see it. I like to see a bit more tigerish pouncing in that goal. Sure.
We don't need to go back to that time you were quite. I'd pick Fab and then probably go Areola in the cups, but we'll see what happens. Are you confident? And at the end of it, can I get your score prediction, please?
Yeah, I mean we've rested well. Moyes knew the team he wanted to play against Leeds a couple of weeks ago, probably. The team will know the tactical plan. I wonder what we're doing, by the way. Obviously, the difference is for them, they've gone down to London, they've come back. We've gone back to Leeds. We've sort of gone up to Manchester, come back to London, go to Leeds. I guess. I would like to have thought that they might have arranged training and accommodation up there and not bothered. That being said, I do think we'll have some fresher players in them. I am confident, and I think we'll win. And I think it'll be... it might be quite comfortable. It might be 2-0 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident as well. I can't lie. This team just keeps rocking, keeps rolling. Even when we lost against Manchester United, I was happy with the performance. And then, as much as it was a difficult, turgid game in the cup, I thought we were really, really good. And you look at the XG map at the end of it, we're basically just as good. We created as good chances.
Yeah.
I'm really confident right now, and this will probably be our first team. We've had Antonio arrested. He comes straight back in. It just looks good, doesn't it? I'd have to say, I'll say 2-1. I'll back them getting a goal. But to be honest with you, I'm out of 10 confidence-wise. I'm at like a 9 right now. I feel like I'm flying. But how do you feel? Let us know in the comments section below. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here. We will, of course, be live on match day. Gonzo will be doing the build-up, probably discussing Cox being out and other such palavers, and probably doing impressions. That tends to what happens when I put my headphones on and I hear it. And that tends to be the sort of stuff that's happening. And then I'll, of course, be doing the watch along from then all the way through till full time when Gonzo will take over and do his live review. So come join us. We'll be there having a grand old time, we hope. Gonzo, any last things to say before we disappear?
No, I've got no last things to say before we disappear.
Beautiful stuff. Love you all. See you later. Bye.